Okay, so short video on how to make plaster exploding targets. What you need: a mixing bowl, a jug with some water, a spoon to stir it all up, some moulds. You can get these off eBay, Amazon, places like that, different sizes. The first lot I ordered were tiny little moulds, so I had to order another lot. These are about, let's measure, these are about 45mm across. So, you know, if you stick them out 20, 25, 30 metres, they're a decent target. When you shoot them, they give off a nice white puff of smoke, powder, and quite often you can shoot them 2 or 3 times. What I do is I put string inside the mould, so when I pour the solution in, I add a little bit of string, maybe about 6-8 inches of string, then you can just tie them up or staple them up to a target post or whatever. The actual targets are made out of, you see that, corn flour and fine casting powder. Now you can also use plaster of Paris. You don't have to use corn flour. I tend to mix the casting powder and the corn flour because I've read a couple of times that it sort of holds it together. If you just have the plaster, then they are very, very brittle, so when you shoot them it will pretty much disintegrate. If you add the cornstarch or corn flour, it sort of holds them together a bit more, so then you get 2 or 3 shots at the target. Hopefully it won't just disintegrate in one shot. That's about it. Obviously you need string. I haven't got the string here yet, but you need string as well. And that's it. Those are the ingredients you need for mixing your targets. Now all you basically do is you mix your plaster of Paris, fine casting plaster, and if you're using corn flour, add that in. So you put the water in your bowl and you add the flour to the water. Don't do it the other way around. If you put the plaster and the corn flour in first and then add water, it goes very, very lumpy very quickly. You do it the other way around. Just add a little bit of water and add the cornstarch, and as you need to add more or less, just add more water and more powder until you've got the consistency you want. If you imagine a sort of pancake mix, you want it sort of to be relatively thick. You want a thick sort of pancakey type mix. So you could pour it straight into the moulds like this. I tend to spoon it. Once it's mixed, I tend to use the spoon and spoon it in. And then basically you just leave it to set. It normally doesn't take very long. I think if you were to just use the plaster of Paris, things like that, it will set in like 5 or 10 minutes. I think if you add the corn flour, it may take a little bit longer, but you're still only talking about minutes, you know, 15, 20 minutes at the most. And then gently, these are sort of silicone moulds, so they're very soft and pliable. When you get them out the mould, when you're popping them out, obviously try and do it carefully so as not to break them. Anyway, that's what you need, and that's the method. I'll mix up the mix, and then I'll show you how to pour them in the mould. So we'll just pause the video for there. Okay, so I've mixed up the corn flour and the fine casting powder, and you can see the sort of consistency we've got. It's actually still a little bit wet, so I'm going to add a little bit more of the fine casting powder. But this would be okay. You could pour this into the moulds and it would, because it's watery, it would take a bit longer to set. So I'm going to add a little bit more powder just to make it a little bit thicker. But that's sort of a bit thicker than that is what you're aiming for. So we'll just stop the video there. Okay, so I'm pretty much ready for pouring now. I've cut my lengths of string and I've laid some in these moulds ready to go. I'm just going to spoon some of the mixture in now. This is the messy bit, unfortunately. So about 2 tablespoons per mould is about what you want. I could probably maybe go another half to a full tablespoon now. And you could put the string in afterwards. If it's fairly watery, the mix, you can just poke the string in afterwards. But now when these set, those bits of string, you will be able to hang the targets with the bits of string. I'm just going to put a bit more in that one. So I'm going to carry on filling these up now. Just stop the video there. Okay, so these are the targets. Almost set, not quite. As you can see, they've got the string in them, so you can hang them up once they're set. These are almost set. Probably about another 5-10 minutes, and I'll be able to take them out of the mould. You can do them a lot neater. I mean, I've done these a bit higgledy-piggledy. You could, if you want, fill them right to the top and skim them so they're nice and smooth. The first couple, these two, I did seem to get quite smooth. I think it was when it was more liquid, so it finds its own level. But as it very quickly gets thicker and thicker, it tends not to end up so smooth. You end up with more of a domed surface, because it's just such a thick mixture that it won't settle down. Like I say, you could spend a bit more time and make them look neater, but to be honest, they're going to be shot, so I'm not particularly bothered about what they look like. Just quickly go over the costs. A bag of plaster Paris, I've gone for 1 kilogram bags. I use slightly smaller. I use the 750 gram bag and a 500 gram bag of corn flour. But if you went for kilogram bags, so you get more targets, it's $4.99 for a plaster of Paris. On Amazon, you might be able to get it cheaper. Fine casting powder is $4.99 off Amazon for 1 kilo. And corn flour is about £7 for 1 kilo off Amazon. So obviously if you've got less, if you've got 500 grams, if you've got 750 grams, it's going to be a little bit less. But so the total cost, if you're mixing either plaster of Paris and corn flour, or fine casting powder and corn flour, if you're buying both of them, it's about 12 quid. I've worked it out. I think I've got 3 lots of these moulds, so 36. Well, I've got 34 because I didn't quite manage to fill those, but I've still got some left. So I reckon I'll get about 40 targets out of what I had, which was a 750 gram and a 500 gram. So if you went for the kilogram bags, you're going to get a bit more. You're probably going to get over 50 targets. For the cost, for £12, if you're getting 50 targets, that's only 24p a target. You know, when you think that exploding targets, custom targets, you know, some of those are £1 a target, some of them are £2 a target now. They seem to have gone up a lot. So these, obviously, you don't get the bang, but you do get the nice puff of smoke. And as I say, normally you can shoot them 2 or 3 times, so you're effectively getting, you know, 2 or 3 reactive shots rather than just 1 reactive shot. So it's actually quite cost effective, and it literally takes 5 minutes. It took me, you know, 5 minutes to get my materials together, 5 minutes to mix up to the right consistency, and then probably another 5 minutes to pour them and put the string in. So you're looking at, you know, 15 minutes of your time. I mean, if you went to a gun shop to buy something, you're looking at using up some of your time, aren't you? So, you know, it swings and roundabouts. But I find these are quite good, cheap, easy to make targets. So if anyone wants to give it a go, hopefully that's showing you how easy it is. What I will do is, when I get them out of the mould, I'll show you what they look like. Okay, just show you how to get them out of the mould. So with these, you can poke through the bottom. So I've poked through this one. Obviously do it gently, and out it pops. And there you have your hanging target. The other good thing is, if you hang these up off the outside and it's a bit of a breeze, then they will be moving, they will be spinning, they will be moving around. So you've got effectively a moving target. As you can see from that one, the bottoms are flat, because obviously the bottoms of the moulds are the bottom of the moulds are flat. So normally the top is a bit more rounded, domed or whatever. Because, as I say, like some of these are quite sort of wobbly at the top, but they're going to be shot, so it doesn't really matter. I'll see if I can get the next one out without breaking it. So again, you're gently pushing it up. There you go. There's the next one. And you can adjust these. I've got the string coming out the top. You could adjust, push the string down so it's coming out the middle here, so it's hanging slightly more straight, but again, it doesn't really matter. And you don't have to put string in them, you know, you could just place them up on top of a shelf or something and they will be just as good to shoot. Yeah. Okay, so I've managed to get them all out, and on this occasion I haven't broken any. Sometimes when you take them out you'll get the odd one that will crack or break, but these have all come out quite well, so result there. And what you're left with in the mould is just this sort of powdery residue. Obviously you can just rinse them in hot water and they're good to go again. You can reuse these time and time again. I got these off eBay. They were about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 quid, something like that. I think I actually got a pack of 2 for 5 quid. So yeah, anyway, hopefully that shows you how to make easy, cheap and quick plaster targets. Cheers. Okay, so I've put one of these plaster targets out just there. It's about 21 metres away. As you can see from the trees, it's blowing an absolute hoolie, but we'll give it a go, shoot it. Okay, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers, bye.